can't believe I'm the first one here. I made Reginald go so fast, he almost ran a red light on the way over here. Hope I'm not late.
No, you are. Not only did we already order, but Nikolas and Elizabeth went to pick up the pizza. I'm sorry we didn't get any Canadian bacon and pineapple. If you're not here to choose, you take what you get.
That's okay. As long as there's something that I can eat that doesn't have green peppers in it.
Am I not your oldest friend? I would never get you anything with green peppers, you know that.
Yeah, but Lucky, there was that one time. Remember when we went to look for my Aunt Corey and we went to Arizona and we had barely any money and you bought those disgusting sandwiches?
Those were great.
No, practically the whole thing was green peppers.
But you took yours out and gave them to me. It doesn't count.
Do you ever think about how much stuff we've done together? You know, running away from home and camping out in the desert.
Well, I stole a vase from your grandmother.
Yeah.
We're almost buried alive.
I'm gonna miss you. You know, when Liz gets into art school and you guys move away to New York together. But I want you to. I know Liz is a really good artist. It's just gonna be hard not having you around.
It's gonna be hard for me too, you know. You remember much about Arizona?
Yeah, pretty much everything. I mean, I remember the first school that I went to and my old address and how the weather was. How it was always very, very hot. And how my mom and I used to take hikes in the desert.
You still miss it?
Yeah, I miss my mom. I always will, though, you know? And I definitely miss the heat, especially in February when it's been snowing for 3 days straight. Ugh.
I understand that. But when someone asks you where you're from, what's the first thing you think of?
Port Charles. This is my home, even though I've only lived here since I was 11.
See, it's the same for me. I was born in Texas, but I don't remember it. We were on the run by the time I was 2. I mean, every place was good, because I was with my mom and my dad, but I always knew that we'd be moving on. That the farm or the apartment or the tree in the backyard was temporary. That no place, no matter how good or safe, was gonna last. Canada was as close to a home as I'd had. But it wasn't until I got to Port Charles that I was home. I mean, I knew it when I walked into Kelly's for the first time and Ruby hugged me. And Bobby treated me like she'd known me for years. And this is the place where I stopped running. Even though I want to go, even though I know it's right, it feels strange to be moving on.
But it's not like I can't call anytime or hopefully come and visit.
Don't be dumb, of course.
It's still gonna be different not having you here in town. You know, I remember when my mom was dying of cancer and I knew that I was gonna have to live with the Quartermains and they all just seemed so loud and crazy and that house was so big. And then I met you. And there were times that first year when the only good thing that I could think of was having you as a friend.
That won't change, Emily.
I know. It's still gonna be different though. I mean, not hanging out with you guys. I won't see you at school or bump into you at Kelly's. You don't think that there's any way that maybe Liz could study art here in Port Charles?
It's possible, but the school in New York's the best.
Yeah. And also give you and Liz a chance to get out on your own. You know, move in together, be together.
Elizabeth told you that?
She didn't have to. I can just tell by looking at you guys the way you are together, you know? There are so many kids at our school that would love to have a place like this. But to them, it would just be a room. You and Liz make it something more, you know? It's almost like it's your own world.
Well, if we ever made you feel unwelcome...
No, you never did. It was exactly the opposite. And that's why I like hanging around with you guys so much. I mean, it's fun to hang out with people who are in love. It's kind of like by them being happy, they make you happy by osmosis. Oh, sorry, that was kind of goopy. I didn't mean to make you embarrassed.
I didn't. You'll fall in love someday, Emily. And then you'll know why I'm leaving. Because whatever the person you love needs becomes the most important thing in the world.
No, you better stop there. I'll never fall in love.
Why not?
Because whoever that person is gonna have to measure up to who you are. And I don't see how they could do that.
So how close are you to finishing the portrait?
Oh, I'm done.
Thank God.
I'm just waiting for the paint to dry before I send it to the Art Academy.
After you've shown it to us, of course.
Forget it.
Oh, come on. Why don't you want us to see it? Are you embarrassed?
Maybe he's afraid it doesn't look like him.
It looks exactly like me. Elizabeth did a great job.
So what's the problem?
It's no
People
problem.
will probably see it eventually. The school returns your work after they evaluate it, and I was thinking of giving the portrait to your mother.
Would it be possible to discuss this before we do that?
See, look at him. He's all embarrassed.
Look, have you ever had your portrait painted?
Yeah, twice, as a matter of fact.
Prince, yeah.
The first one, my grandmother had commissioned when I was 5. All right, I had to wear this black velvet suit with these little short pants and a white lace collar. Now, come on, that's embarrassing.
Is this portrait still in existence?
Yeah, it's hanging in the long gallery back in the house in Greece. Now, I wanted to burn it, but I was told that it was the only worthwhile contribution that Helena ever made to the family art collection and that it couldn't be destroyed, so.
Now, you said there was 2, right?
Yeah, the other portrait was painted when I was 14, but it wasn't nearly as bad. It's me on the bluff there looking over the ocean holding Darius's reins.
Darius? Yeah. Has it ever occurred to you to name a horse Patch or Blue?
My father named Darius.
Are you ever mad at him for doing that to you?
Don't give me a classical education.
No, for saying he was your uncle when he was really your father. I mean, when you found out that the person you loved the most that raised you and made sure the world was okay for you, when you learned that the most important person had lied to you your whole life, did you hate him just a little bit, or did you understand that he did it because he loved you?
Well, both. I mean, it was hard when I first found out, you know, and I did hate him for a little while. I definitely hated the lie.
So you do think he did something wrong?
Yeah. You know, even though I understood why he did it, I still wish that he hadn't. Why?
Michael. It's the opposite for him. He thought that his uncle was his father, and now he's been thrown into this hideous custody suit. And I think sometimes it would have been better if the truth never came out. You know, you learned the truth when you were old enough to handle it after you had been raised and loved and cared for and taught things, and you were made strong. And maybe that person didn't turn out to be who you thought they were, but they were part of the reason that you could understand stuff like that, you know? The same person who lied to you your whole life was also responsible for helping you to move on and maybe see that you did love them. I want Michael to be strong and safe like that, and I don't think he will be.
So has anyone ever considered joint custody?
I think to consider something like that, you'd have to be a rational person, and none of the court remains are. I'm sorry, I don't mean to dump all this stuff on you guys.
It's all right. It's not like we haven't dumped anything on you before.
Just keep telling Michael you love him. He'll be okay. That's what my family did when Lulu was in the hospital. I know it's totally different, but she was afraid, didn't understand what was going on, and we loved her through it. You can do that for Michael.
Thanks, I will.
And who knows? I mean, maybe growing up with your entire family fighting over you and not knowing if your uncle's your father makes you a better person. After all, look how Nikolas turned out.
You want Michael to grow up like Nikolas?
He could have done worse.
Ah, he could have done better, too.
I think I better get you home before he further insults my magnificence and I have to beat him down.
You could try.
I think I can get enough fighting at home, thanks.
I'll dump these on our way out.
Now you see how many princes offered to take out the trash.
Prince, thank you.
Oh.
See you later.
Bye. Bye,
See ya.
guys.
You really think Nikolas is that great?
Well, I think he's almost as wonderful as his brother. But not quite.